2013 and 600. Remember, with Skellex Hurricane Safety Tips, together we can weather the storm.
Reliable and responsible. Skellex is here for you. Powering our community.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's, it's where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. It is the first Monday of the 9th month. Who else is grateful that we have been brought this far, not by our own grace and mercies, but by that of God. So let us all be thankful. Whatever your religion is, whatever you believe in, we are here. We are alive. Let us exercise wisdom, patience, peace, and understanding amongst ourselves and amongst everyone that we encountered. We encountered to the youths that are going back to school. Please be on your best behavior. Listen to your teachers. Learn what you need to learn for this term. Remember, as I grew up hearing, manners make it man. So be mannersable. Be mannerable amongst your peers. Treat each other fairly. And teachers, I know some of the kids are not the easiest to deal with. I know some of the teachers may not hear this now because it's school time to get everybody inside. Just exercise some patience with them, some wisdom with them. Please don't talk down to the kids. Everybody learn at a different pace. Everybody is different. We do not know what people are going through, so don't talk down to them. Talk up to them, encourage them. Remember, these same students are going to be your leaders in the future. So let's be kind, let's treat them well, let's teach them well, and who don't understand, let's just extend extra grace towards them. Children, remember, for those of you who are going to be on the road, be mindful. For those of you where vehicles come in the schoolyards, be mindful of the vehicles. Remember, you don't see vehicles in hospitals, so please, children, be on your best behavior. Teachers, head teachers, encourage them. These children are our future. For those of you listening to us, remember we are on 98.9 on your FM dial. We are being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. The numbers you can reach us at if you wish to join in on the conversation or bring something to the fore. In the UK, it's 0333440065. In the US, 1-718-285-6984 or 1-305-921-4619 or our local number 466-0989. Good morning, Quint. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Trying to be better than yesterday. I see the hustle and the bustle outside. I see the kids passing by me in their new Clarks, and there's this bag pack that's out. I don't know the name. See, I'm really not that young anymore, but the kids have it on. I know in Jamaica it's a big thing because the kids literally try to take it's a kind of a plastic illuminated shiny money. They try to see how much of those they could grab and put on their particular backpack to be the star of the show. So I see all the kids out in their dandan, and parents excited. Some parents, today's the day that their kids are going to kindergarten. So some of them are gonna skip work or going to work late because they want the pictures, the videos. We had no pictures. Well, some of our parents had cameras back then, but we didn't have all the shebang that these children have now. They're really blessed.
No,
Yeah,
definitely not. But two sides. One, the kids are back out. They can intermingle with their friends and so forth.
Yeah.
Get out of the house and be about. And a lot of the parents are sighing some relief.
But a lot. Which ones? The ones that had vacation and wish they were at school?
No,
because the parents work too, right?
When the kids are home, it's a stress.
Yeah, gotta eat out everything.
No, not just eat. Like Bill Cosby once said let me see if I can remember the joke. He said his dad would always mix up their name, right? He would call one Jesus Christ and he would call one damn it, right? So this day he when you have a lot of kids, you mix up the names, right?
Yeah.
So he said, Jesus Christ, will you sit down? Damn it, will you go on? And so damn it says, no, Dad, I'm Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
So the parents are going to be glad to have some relief where they can walk around the house and
kids.
Yeah, no kids tangling their feet. Not that they don't love their kids, mind you, but I've been there, so I know. Yeah, I can speak from experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just hope the kids have a good school year, 2025, 2026, and this is their first term because just now they're going to be out of school again because just how the days are fleeting fast, it's going to be Christmas vacation again. So as I admonish them, learn what you can now, be respectful to your teachers and your peers, and teachers treat the children with the same respect you would want to have. Because, we have to be mindful. Imagine you treat somebody bad in school, and then when you get older, that person is above you in some kind of position. We had to hope that person have a forgiving heart so they don't treat you bad. The world's a cycle, so we have to treat these children good. Yeah. I try my best. When I see the young ones on my lane doing bad things, I'd be like, stop it. Don't let me come over there with my belt. You swear I could do the people cheering something. But I just want them to, be good, upstanding individuals.
Definitely.
And they listen.
Yeah.
They do listen. So I'm grateful for that. Because I treat them the same way they would want to be. You would want them to treat you.
And a lot of them, even though they're young kids or children, as we call them, they like when grown-ups respect them, because
yes, exactly.
they feel like okay, I'm becoming a grown-up too.
And they can and some people do pay it forward because when they see they get the respect, they know, okay, when I become an adult, I have to respect people, and they respect people. Once you treat children with respect, I find they respect you. So that's all we have to do because the world is round. As I saw this gentleman taking care of his wife. Most recently, I was in Frigate Bay, and I said, look how the world is round. Imagine when we are little, we're in a stroller, and he has his wife, like he's exercising, and she, she's getting in the fresh air and whatever, but she looks like she can't walk or whatever, so he has her in a grown-up stroller. And I told my husband, I said, look at that. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And
that's
look how the world is
dedication
round.
That's dedication.
That is certainly dedication. He understood what he said when he said, I do.
Yeah.
And he's exercising, doing his little run and his little walk, and his wife is getting her little push in her adult pram, as I call it, or her adult stroller.
Yeah.
And I said, look, we start in a stroller and we end right back up in a stroller. So, and up to this morning, I was telling him, we need to treat everybody fairly, Quint. Not because that man sweeping the drain, you talk down to him. Not because he's picking up. If he doesn't sweep the drain, if he doesn't pick up the garbage, how would we go along in life?
Yeah.
So we have to treat people fairly.
It takes all of us to make the world go round.
Yeah, it really does.
I remember it was Martin Luther King who once said, even if you're a street sweeper, do it like it's the best job in the world.
Exactly.
Because, feel pride in what you do.
Exactly, and that's why I said you have to have pride. So for the young generation, have your pride now. Don't be too prideful though. Don't be too proud. Do everything to your utmost best. Excel at it. If you fall down, try and try again until you succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just
But
have
for the man who was pushing his wife in that stroller, people like them, we must commend them, because
yes.
recently we see soon as one side of the marriage, family or whatever goes through illness, or the person ups and leaves them,
leave.
you find somebody else,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, so
Let me
it's
tell
good
you.
that he's dedicated and,
Yep.
and has stuck with her. But it must
Can I
have,
boast some more?
it must have been that he saw something in her before. So now that she has reached this stage,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. He feels a sense of pride because he knows that is somebody who could have he could have counted on, and so forth. So
Can I boast some more, as I said?
yeah.
Guess his ethnicity.
Oh, I don't even have
He's
to
a black
guess.
man with lovely silver hair. So, sir, if you're listening, whoever you are, kudos. You made my heart smile. I enjoyed seeing that, and there is hope.
You know, as you say
There is
that,
hope.
it comes back to our culture and what we learned from back in Africa. Because when we were colonialized, and a lot of us have been following that trend, we have this man is the head, and man, and man is dominant, and man he doesn't show any love
I know what.
or
Oh,
what?
emotions.
Emotions
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. But that isn't the way Africans have been, right? From way back when you come back up. And there's a trend now, kind of good and kind of bad, where if you go on the various internets and whatever, you're seeing women from all ethnicities are saying the black man is the most emotion. He doesn't hide his emotion, you know. He treats a woman the way he should be treated. So we don't have that sort of insecurity where we feel like, you know, I'm not saying all of us, but the majority of us. So yeah, so it's good to be black. For me, it was always good to be black.
Yeah, I like my color. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm not fixing anything. I'm leaving my little kinks and curls and whatever. I'm leaving everything. If he wanted to make me different, he would have made me different. I'm
Most
not changing
definitely.
anything for
Yeah.
anyone or to fit in anywhere. Very sorry about that. Well, at 8:30, folks, you know we have traffic talk, so we'll stay tuned for that. But in the meantime,
Let's take a break,
Okay.
and then we'll come back.
all right,
Yourself.
no problem.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running August 21st to September 3rd.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise, just $17.99. Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $11.89. Mueller's Pasta, $5.99. Sunny Delight Smooth and Tangy, $7.99. Orville Redenbacher microwave popcorn, just $9.99. Essential Everyday Vinegar, $14.99. And now, our very low weekly
value deals. IGA and Essential Everyday Cereals, $9.99. Essential Everyday Oats, quick and old-fashioned, $10.99. Chobani Greek Yogurt, $5.69. Pillsbury Cake Mix, $6.99. Swab deodorant, $8.99. The Colgate toothpaste, $7.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's, it's where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and as we anticipate traffic talk, there is a headline here that says derelict vehicles cleanup set to get underway in Nevis, and we know that's a problem not only in Nevis but I swear around the entire world. We had the same issue over here, and the Premier basically said the initiative aims to clear unsightly and hazardous vehicles from public spaces and residential area through government funding. Once collected, the vehicles will be taken to a designated facility where they will be crushed and exported. The article also says that these vehicles are sometimes used to hide contraband, according to the police. The residents and citizens alike are concerned that they sometimes impede the space you have on the roadway. They're breeding grounds for rodents, rats, roaches, mosquitoes, etc., etc. So the Premier said that the cleanup is not only a part of a program to target security concerns and environmental neglect, but also to respond to the influx of vehicles into Nevis. He said one day they had 50 vehicles come into Nevis, and that's a lot. I'm thinking 50 here might look like next to nothing, but 50 next door is a lot. So
I think at one time I heard that there were 300 vehicles
for Nevis
in St. Kitts.
Yeah, well, that still sound a tad. That
Maybe
don't sound a lot,
it was more, but
like
whatever number it was a big hoopla because people were saying, "Wow,
I remember that. Yeah,
so much, so many cars and no tractors and no."
Yeah, but that was a backup, as they said, because of shipping issues. So just to think that over in Nevis, 50 vehicles in one day seemed like a lot. It seems weird, but maybe it is. Maybe if I was there to look at it and see, wow, all these vehicles coming into this little island that day, but it doesn't seem like a lot to me. But yeah, but in a day, 50 vehicles for Nevis, as the Premier say, that's what is happening over there. And he says priority areas include neighborhoods and public spaces where abandoned vehicles are in large numbers and have caused the most disruption. He says, well, the Premier is asking for the general public in Nevis to cooperate as they embark on the removal of derelict vehicles around the island of Nevis. So beautify, remember we're into tourism. We don't want to just carry the tourists in the good spots and forget the other spots. We want them to see the entire island, but we want them to see it clean, neat, and tidy. As what they say, charity begins at home. Yeah. Yeah, so we have to make sure our backyard is clean as we entertain our guests. Yeah, so just cooperate with the Premier.
We need to keep it clean for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said charity begins at home.
Keep it clean for ourselves, then anyone can come, you know.
Exactly.
We don't have to worry.
Anyone can come. Listen, we were driving from the Fort Thomas area the other day. and we were coming into town. And it was a nighttime, and when I looked at how clean the streets were, and we got to the circus and it was squeaky clean again, there was not a piece of rubbish on the ground, and I was like, wow, St. Kitts is really one of the cleaner islands. Yeah, like I'm so in awe when I see.
Well, I hear, well, and your husband is a taxi individual, but I hear the taxi individuals say that that is one of the things that the visitors commend us on.
Always.
Yeah.
And they say too, we have some of the nicest people they've met. That's why I tell people, once you're in customer service, put your best foot forward. Your best foot forward. It always works out for you. The fact that people are saying, like when we had cricket here just recently, most of the people that were going back from the CPL kept saying, wow, your country has some of the nicest people we've met. It's clean, the service is nice, so we have to keep our socks up. Don't let those bobby socks, as we say, the neck break. Once a neck break, buy a new one. keep up the good work.
Well, usually someone from the traffic department is here by this time, but I haven't heard the chime, so we're going to play it by ear and see how it goes. In the meantime, I know that earlier I saw the phone lighting up. So since we haven't seen the traffic talk individuals as yet, if you feel like you want to call and make an input. And whenever they get here, if they get here, maybe today is very busy for them also.
Oh boy, yeah, everybody's out. Everybody's out. The kids are out, the traffic officers are out. Oh gosh. Oh, nice. So as we continue along, I see Quint making a move, so I don't know if it's the officers are here. There's another headline. The St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister addresses social media debate on recent ambulance addition to fleet. And this article is by Kevin Brown. I'll just read parts of it. It says, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, addresses the criticism on social media concerning the recent addition of 2 ambulances to the fleet. While the Ministry of Health had mentioned that by November 2025, 7 more ambulances would be added to the fleet, the temporary measure of using second-hand units received harsh criticism on social media platforms, suggesting that instead of acquiring brand new ambulances, the Federation had brought in second-rate ones. The Prime Minister said, unquote, when we came in, we met a fleet of ambulances that was not adequate. And so, one of the first things we considered in health, apart from dealing with the very critical equipment, such as an anesthesiology machine, so that when people are operating, the machine doesn't go down, people die on the table. This is how dire things were. Remember, we came from a state where we had ambulances which were not equipped with oxygen at times, and we remember how that went down. We were also told then that ambulances were expensive, and that is why it was difficult for St. Kitts and Nevis to have a proper fleet of ambulances. We moved forward to get brand new ambulances, which we are still doing. And so we approached a local company, that's TDC, who is an agent for the Toyota brand, and so we sought to get a brand that can be properly managed here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Can you imagine, when you have a vehicle and you don't have a dealership in the country, it makes it more challenging than if you have a dealership. A dealership facilitates, of course, mechanic operations on your vehicles because the mechanics will become specialized in the brand. Secondly, in terms of getting parts, it would be much easier as well. The guarantees and so forth, And so we sought to order a fleet of Toyota ambulances so that they will be the same brand and dealership here and would put us in the best position to maintain an excellent fleet of ambulances, end quote. The Prime Minister explained the cause of the delay in bringing the expected fleet of new ambulances. Because there is war in Ukraine, we were told that there was a delay because of supply chain issues. We know that we had supply chains issues after COVID, and the impact, of course, preparing ambulances for us, which would have to be tailored to our specifications to meet our needs here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I was informed by TDC that ambulances will be delayed as a result. However, I decided and we decided that since there would be a delay, which is beyond all of our control, and the ambulances are due to be here in October 2025. That's 5 brand new ambulances, 3 brand new that we'll have them at the Mary Charles, at Poxon, and at the Jane France Hospital. And the plan, of course, is to have the dealership maintain them and so forth, because that, I think, used to be a problem in the past. However, in the interim, we could not have just this fleet that we inherited, which was inadequate to some extent. So he's basically saying, he goes on to say, so, and here and now, we have ones in the interim so that they can fill the gap in the meantime, so that you don't run out of ambulances. So this is what we are doing. It is a bridge to get a brand new fleet of ambulances at this particular time. And he said, this is what happened after COVID. The supply chain affects so many things across the world, and people would understand that we are also affected here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So in October of 2025, that's just 1 month from now, we are expected to have our brand new ambulances of the Toyota brand here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So I guess in the interim.
Yeah, I think the Prime Minister needs to learn to be silent on certain things until, they pan out, and stop criticizing so much, because then it backfires on him.
But he's asking them not to criticize, because as the headline says,
it is because he makes certain statements, and when he first got in, everything was inadequate and everything was not up to, and he talked down almost everything, and now, so learn from, become a little bit more. I think he's becoming a bit more experienced, and he's, look, in a nutshell, you just got into the prime ministership. I'm using a hypothetical, right? Remember, the government is continuous. So whatever you critique is going to backfire on you, because you are now the government, okay? So on certain things, moving forward in the future, be quiet on certain things while you work them out, and then when you see things coming to a head or coming to fruition, then you go and you say something about them. We can look back and see so many things that he criticized, and we see that they did not work out and have not worked out, and he's now getting the blame for a lot of things.
Yeah, right? But the fact that he answered, in a sense, to put ease to persons, because sometimes we have so many stories out there and we only hear one side. You don't think he should have answered, because he only answered because
what I'm saying is that he was forced. Look, when you comment on something and then things play out, you're forced to answer, because you already what they say, put your foot in your mouth, So be quiet on certain things. That is why when I don't know about something, I would ask. I may make a statement because I want to know, and then I might have a feeling you might know, and then from the time you start to speak and I realize notice I backtrack. I say, okay, well, enlighten me, That is what I tend to do. So that is what leaders have got to learn to do. Hello, caller.
Good morning, you're live in Island
Good morning, Quinn. Good morning, Cortez here.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm good. And yourself?
Trying to be better than yesterday.
All right, that's your modus operandi. It's a good one. That's your own man. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I just tuned in, and I'm following where you're going there. I heard a few comments that you made. But I got up this morning wanting to really deal with a matter pertaining along that same line, Quinn and Cortez here. It pertains to Premier Brantley, Matt Brantley, Premier of Nevis. as to what I would consider to be damage control.
Yeah.
In terms of legislation to do with what we call sustainable development.
Yeah.
And it's like having the carriage in front of the horse instead of putting the horse in front of the carriage. As to reaching out to the people now to say, well, sensitize the general public and to give insight as to what this bill, this sustainable development bill will entail, what it meant to convey in terms of the development of these islands. And I would say I reject that notion, his comments, specifically, vehemently, because Matt Brantley knows better. The Premier of Nevis very well knows better. If he knows, even if he knows the history of St. Kitts and Nevis. There was a time when Nevis was considered to be the breadbasket of the two islands, simply because their in sugar industry went out quite a while. It is back in the 60s when I was a little boy. I used to see those cargo boats, those sailboats come down with the remnants of the sugar cane, where they would have go there by the factory, the sugar factory there, and then those cane would have been drawn to the main factory up there.
Yeah. They would
in
be
area.
they would be taken from the area where the big sugar house is and taken by
Yes.
train into the factory.
Yeah, number 12.
Yeah.
I know the gentleman who used to drive that engine.
Yeah.
He's the one who used the locomotive. He was from the Newtown, Pasha area. I know him very well. And they would have taken them up there to be crushed. That
Yeah.
was the last moment of the Nevis' industry, where they decided it is fading out and the mechanism to crush the cane is no longer, so they will bring down the cane that was cut and what be done here.
Yeah.
I know, and Matt Brantley knows very well that is not going to fly good with Division. Selling out these lands is not a nice thing. It reminds me of something that Donald Trump said about the Gaza Strip. How the Gaza Strip could be developed.
Yeah.
After sanitizing the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
How they will build these fancy things on the coastline and all of that. Yeah. It is an ideology. Something ingrained in these people who want to just come down and buy out these islands.
Yeah.
And for our leaders to really aid and abet them to do these things, it's not going to go good. It's not going to go good.
Yeah.
On the pretext of sustainable development. So, I mean, Matt Brantley, you have let the people down so bad. And you was a liked person in terms of your politics. And I would say the administration, the Jew administration down here, they won by default by an internal fighting with the team unity. And it's like nothing has become of it. Nothing has become of it. And now they're going in there and colluding. Here is it, an opposition. The faithful, the loyal leader of the opposition agreeing on an egregious piece of document like that, legislation like that, to cite his own people who had the land, and we Kittitians don't have land like how the divisions have land. But it was egregious enough that the Jew administration got an opportunity to correct the wrong from a former colleague administration, the Labour administration under Denzel Douglas, with the Christopher Harbour deal, and they did not do anything. And now they're going to go in there and collude together to bring about such an enactment to slight the divisions of their land and petitions, such as what we have remained. So I just wanted to bring that to the fore. It's not going to die. I mean, it's going to be a thorn in those guys' flesh. It's going to be a thorn in those guys' flesh. And I listened to a piece of Dwyer Astafan. Dwyer, you need to go all the way. You just can't. You know the history, Dwyer. We rely on you for those type of things because these documents are enormous.
Okay,
Reading the fine print and reading.
Africa, we're gonna have to cut because we can pick up this after. the traffic officer has arrived. We didn't know
Good.
that they would
I
think,
give
so we're
way.
going to take a bit of a
I
commercial.
concur.
Yeah, we're going to take a bit of commercial break
Congratulations.
and make some change.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Say kids and neighbors, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher, pay your bill in full, sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
From the time that you taste it, man, you know that it's greatness. Some ice in your cup, tell your friends link up. You know that we liming. Signal the bartender. No, we don't need chaser. But if you want, it could mix with anything. We drinking Stones ginger wine, the original ginger wine. We drinking like I say, Stones ginger wine. Greatness is forever.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's is where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and who better to join us in the studio this morning than the young lady herself. Listen, I have a video to show you, Everybody lauds you as the best traffic officer, As I sent it to my WhatsApp, I said, when she comes, I have to show you, so I'll show you afterwards. Good morning, Officer Donnelly. Welcome back to the studio, and welcome back to Traffic Talk. She is.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning to those persons out in Vigiland and those persons who are joining us. We are always happy and grateful for you to be a part of our program. But before I get into any more conversation, I will just ask God to just grant us some more favors. Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning, dear God, humbly bowing at your feet, thanking you, dear God, for life itself, thanking you for another opportunity, another day to say thank you, Lord. And so this morning, dear God, we're asking, dear God, for those persons who would have journeyed to their new schools, those new teachers, those persons who are on the job. We ask you, dear God, to grant them grace, mercies, traveling mercies, and as they go through today, dear God, may you be their guiding light. And may we continue to be respectful to the laws of the Federation, and may we be a source of blessing, a source of guidance to somebody. These mercies we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen.
Before we get into the program, this video is trending. Well, that's what I heard. Well, I am not a social media person, but I would have gotten the messages. Yes. And so I want to thank those persons out there who still have the confidence in Officer Donnelly. I really appreciate you. And you are the person who would have made me who I am today. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Yes. As I was saying to Miss Cortez, that I was not scheduled for the program today. As a matter of fact, I just came to the studio just to drop a message to the persons who should be here. And I am surprised to not see anyone. Maybe someone fell sick, I don't know. And so I just hope that it is not too serious, whatever the situation may be. However, one of the reasons why I am here and I would just make that my topic for this morning, since that I was not assigned duties here this morning. Today is the first day at school. And the place is busy. Persons are busy doing their own thing, getting their children to school, still not paying attention to the traffic rules, regulation, and the laws. And so I came to the radio program because I'm standing outside of the ICCS school, and the traffic was in a mess. And so that brought me to the radio station to kind of give the officers a chance to speak to the airwaves, to the persons who are not law-abiding citizens, especially on today, the first day out for school. And we know children are excited, parents are frustrated, parents are, everybody, busybody want to get to do what they want to do, not remembering that we still have to adhere to the traffic laws. And so I am driving, coming along South Independence Square Street, and the traffic is in a mess. And I'm in my private vehicle, and so I pulled over so that I can see what is happening. Just to find out that persons are taking their children to school, blocking the traffic way, and nobody cares. And so ignorance is no excuse to the law. And the yellow lines, they may not have been brightened for the new school year, but they are visible. And so this information goes to every teacher, every parent, every guardian who are driving. Please to be mindful of the yellow lines that you see that are in the areas of the school. The yellow lines does not mean park and take in your children. The yellow line means do not park. Bear in mind, I know some of the children are first day out for school, some of them are new, they're not familiar. Even those who are familiar with the school, they might be new to a class. And so you as a parent would want to go in and sort your children out. You are not conscious that you are causing a dilemma on the streets. And so we have to be mindful, because we as police officers, traffic wardens, we still have our job to do. I was just having conversation with some of the parents and the drivers, and you would not believe some of the things that they are saying to me, as if they are correct. No remorse. No, sorry, officer, give us a break for today. Nothing of that sort. And so I am asking the general public to please to be mindful, because I would have spoken to the majority of the persons who are lying in the street, not being cautious of the traffic mess, for want of a better word, that is the hazard that is outside of ICCS school. Tomorrow morning, being the second day of school, this will not happen. We will not allow this to happen. And this is not only just for ICCS. My imagination is telling me the same thing is happening at other schools, especially Maurice Helia. And so we are asking you, the drivers, to map out your destination, map out where you will be driving, map out what you plan to do when you get to the school, how you're going to offload the children, how you're going to let your children move from your vehicle to their school. We understand that children sometimes may be crying, parents want to say their last goodbyes, but do not do it on the expense of the traffic. It is causing a hazard. Some parents have a tendency to wait until they're in front of the school dropping off their children to find out that the child pencil case is on the seat and not in the bag. And so they're blocking the traffic to make sure that the child open the bag, put in the pencil case, and then move off. And then they find it that the tie of the child uniform is not straight. And so this is the perfect time to fix it while you're causing a hazard with the traffic. And so we're asking the general public, please to be mindful of these. They may sound petty, they may sound small, but when you stand in line or when you stand in the traffic causing these delays, it becomes a hazard. And so we are asking the parents, the guardians, those persons who are driving their children to school, please to be mindful of the block that you have in the traffic when you are paying more attention to the child getting in and out of the vehicle. Have your last goodbyes when you are driving the child to school. Have your last conversation while you're driving, explaining what needs to be explained to the children, as opposed to wait until you get in front of the school to try to have these conversations or try to find out that the child did not put the lunch bag where it's supposed to go, and so they're trying to look behind and trying to hustle and bustle to get the lunch bag and get the bag. Make sure that everything is in order for that child to get out of the vehicle once you get to your destination. And that is all we are asking for the student this morning. ICS was a hazard this morning, and I must say I feel very hurt for some of the response I would have gotten from the parents. No remorse, no respect. And so I am saying to the parents, tomorrow morning at any given school, this should not happen, and we're going to try our best to nip it. Now it's early. Today is the first day of school, and we will not allow you to think that it's okay for you to be disrespectful to the traffic signs, the regulations that we have in place, and to the traffic wardens that we have on duty. And so we're asking you let us work together. It's a community effort. It's a nation's effort that we make sure we're not just only talking about persons speeding, persons overtaking where they shouldn't overtake, persons not wearing seat belts, persons not being mindful of the distance between the vehicles. We are also speaking to the parents, the guardians, and those persons who are driving their vehicles where it concerns our children and the schools. I will stay here for now and see if Miss...
Somebody's waiting for her. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, Cortesia, Prince, and the officer.
Good morning.
It's just a suggestion. I don't know if it's workable or not. But the square is a relatively safe zone for children. Isn't it possible they have about, 8 or 9 entrances into the square? Isn't it possible that parents be allowed to drop off their kids at any one of those entrances and use the entrance by the church for the crossing guard to let students then cross the road in let's say, a park and enter the school through that entrance? I don't know what the arrangements are for the schools for entering the school, but I think an accommodation can be made, especially on occasions like this, first day of school and so on, where you drop off the kids anywhere along that give them access to the square, okay? Because then you'd have less congestion I would expect along George Street. I don't know if that's workable or not. So the crossing guard then just have to control the crossing from the square to go to the entrance to the school, and that's it. I don't know if you catch where I'm coming from.
Yes, Carla. Thank you so much for that suggestion. It's a very reasonable suggestion, very reasonable, and I don't think that it should not be workable. I think it could work. I would just have to take the suggestion to my superiors and see how best we can and also have a conversation with the headmaster of the said school, because like you would have said earlier, we do not know what arrangement most of the students gets off on George Street, because everybody wants to bring their children just right by the school gate, right by the door of the school, as opposed to just like we as drivers, we're going into a store on 4th Street, we want to park right in front of the store. We don't want to walk from Port Dante or walk from wherever there is a legal parking. Yeah. We just want to get to the store and we want to park right there. That's a reasonable suggestion, and it's something that we can work with. It's something that we would have to put into place and see how it works for the parents, because you also have to remember it's not just us. We still have the parents to deal with, because even though some parents may say, "Oh, that's fair, that's workable."
Yeah, somebody might say, "I'm not putting my child off there."
That some persons, some persons are still going to say, "Oh, I am not doing this. I want my child. I want to
make sure."
Yes,
my child goes in the gate.
Yes, and so it is a workable suggestion, and we will take it on board. Thank you so much, Carla.
Carla, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Good morning, Donnelly. Good morning, host officer.
Good morning.
I was wondering when you was going to get to the alternative. And you hit the note. At least you decided to get all parties involved on board, rather than not your superior alone, but the head teacher. And probably all the teachers should be involved, because they'll be receiving the children on that morning. And most likely their preparation would have been already ready, because, there are times before the school bell rings when all students should be in classrooms. So receiving the children is very important, and when they are leaving too. So it's a good idea.
Yes. Thank you, Carla.
I give thanks to that.
Thank you very much, Carla. And so if there is any more persons out there in Radio Land who would want to give a suggestion, even if you don't get into the radio program, you can always call the traffic department and give us your ideas as to how best we can deal with the situation, because it's a nation building effort. It's our children, and so we all have to be involved. I remember when a village used to help to raise the children.
We can't do that no more,
I know.
Leave me child.
I know.
Leave me child.
I know.
Talk to me child.
I know. Mm-hmm. And so we would have to get the consent of the parents, and even if it is that we do not get the consent of all the parents, if we get majority, once we have a conversation with the head teacher and the teachers, and I think that's something that we would have to work on for the course of this week. Go to the schools, have a conversation, and we can see how best we can move forward, because we cannot run away from it. Yeah. It's a problem. Mm-hmm. It is a problem. And if no other schools, the Maurice Helia and the ICCS, it is a problem. Yes. And I also want to bring to the attention of the general public, some persons may traveling along school zones, and they might see a bus stop to put off some children. And instead of waiting, it may not be a school bus, it might be a passenger bus. And instead of waiting behind so the children can safely cross the street, you're passing ready and willing to overtake, as opposed to giving the children a chance to cross. And so we're asking you, the motorists, to be very mindful of this situation. Once there is a vehicle, it doesn't have to be a bus. It could be somebody putting off their children by a crossing. Once you see a vehicle stop, you wait behind and allow the children or the parent and their children to walk across the crosswalk. And please to remember, once you are using a crosswalk, you do not run. Once you are using a crosswalk, you do not run. And children, please to be mindful that you are not to play on a crosswalk. The crosswalk is for walking, taking your time to get across the street, and be mindful of the traffic that may be in front of you and to the sides of you. Those persons who are walking, those children who are walking to school, you might have an older sister. The parents, please to remember to have a conversation with the children that when they are going to school, especially those children who uses the crossing by the laundry up at the village. Some children would come through the cemetery. Some persons would use the crossing next to the laundry. We're asking you to please to be mindful that once you're coming to those crossings, please to look left, look right, then to look left again before you cross the street. There is a hill, and so once you're coming over that hill, you have to be mindful. You have to take your time as a driver because you do not know what is under that hill. So please let us be mindful and be aware of these areas where the crosswalks are, or in some areas there may not be a crosswalk, but persons use it frequently for traversing to and from, maybe to school or to and from work. So let us look out for our children or even for our pedestrians.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
You know, Donnelly, I think it's about time that we get red traffic light at those pedestrian crossings. So when any pedestrian is going to cross, they press that button and the red light will come on to cause any traffic to stop. Because you see, the thing is, what happened is that I believe in my mind that the pedestrian and the driver should have eye contact with each other, and the car should come to a complete stop before the pedestrian try crossing. Because there some people who stand up on the pedestrian crossing and they're not going to cross. And so one could be confused as to what is going to happen. But at the same time, one should always drive with jockey and attention with an expectation that the possibility of someone crossing, and so they should be able to always have the vehicle under their command. But we should do the best we can to achieve the best goal that we're trying to achieve. And it is very important. Communication is very important. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thank you, caller, and I am happy that you would have spoken to persons, making sure the vehicles come to a complete stop, and then you speak to persons standing on the side, which brings us to Friday. Our lights were out on Thursday and Friday, and yesterday as well, but I was at the traffic stop on Friday at 4th Street, and so some persons were not aware that the lights were out, and so persons are on the side of Victoria Road waiting to cross over to 4th Street, and they're standing right next to the traffic light where you have to push that button. Yeah. Now, drivers are not going to stop because they're thinking that you're just standing there. So what I would have suggested to the pedestrians is once the light is not working and you are a pedestrian at that time, just step down to where the white line is. Stand and wait so that the driver can see you. Some persons still weren't stopping. Yeah. Right? Some persons were still driving. Mm-hmm. But once you step down to that white line, now if you're using the traffic light, now you can stand where you would push that button. Yeah. So, because once that crosswalk comes up, you have the permission to cross. Mm-hmm. But once the light is not working, you step down to the white line and you stand and wait until it is safe for you to cross. That is what should happen, yeah. As opposed to just walking straight from Victoria Road and walk straight without even stopping and looking, mm-hmm. Because you know what I realized over those past 2 days when the light was not working, I recognized that persons were avoiding using that area, 4th Street, Victoria Road. And I think what happened is that I think we have gotten so accustomed to the light that now they light it out. Some persons just do not know to drive there anymore.
Yeah.
So some persons are scared, some persons just do not know what to do. And
we
so
were coming up from 4th Street. Somebody's over on the Victoria Road coming out, right? You know they could turn and go. You know that person was not moving, although the indicator was on. And I'm like, but you are on the side. You can go.
I tell you, yes.
Yeah.
I would have
But that's
seen
good
it.
though, that
Yes.
you're being
Oh,
cautious.
yes,
Yeah,
of course.
that's very good.
Of course. And I prefer that than to have, you know,
collisions,
yes. I really prefer that. But it was a little light moment for me, you know, being able to go and you know,
do your thing.
yes, do my thing. Someone would have
about wrapping up.
Yes, someone would have passed in a vehicle and said, Donnelly, you're happy for this, you're happy to light it up so you can do your thing, you know? And it's a little, you know, tourists would have passed by and they were happy and
smitten.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
Well, Officer Donnelly, thank you for coming in. I know the little short time. You were very informative. I hope for those that are listening, they're going to pass the news on. And for those that can rewatch the program, they'll follow your rules tomorrow. And I hope it's a bit better out there as well as all the other schools. I know the parents are excited. It's the first day. The children are new, but we still have to abide by the rules, as you say. No need for lawlessness. Let's follow the rules.
Yes. Thank you so much, radio listeners, and have yourself a great day today, and have a good week.
Found the sound 98.9
Carry Festa is connections, community, and unity. It is understanding each other without saying a word. Separated by water, united in purpose. One voice, one story, one song. Carry Festa is we thing. Come for Carry Festa 15 in Barbados. Book your stay now at visitbarbados.org/Carry Festa.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Back to school is here, and Digicel is making it extra exciting. Go back to school in style with a brand new laptop. All you have to do is activate a 3-day Prime bundle or higher. Switch to Digicel or sign up for a postpaid plan, and you could be one of 2 lucky winners. At Digicel, we're all about keeping you connected. So what are you waiting for? Get ready, get connected, and go back to school the Digicel way. Digicel, better connected for back to school.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and I must say I did see the congestion, but I was like, Jesus, because I'm thinking I'm already a tad bit behind. I need to cross, and I wasn't being allowed to cross. I was like, oh boy. But I'm glad that she saw it, and she jumped into action right away. So that's a good thing. So parents, guardians, everyone, let's heed the words of the officer. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island Tea.
Good morning to everybody once more again, and greetings in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, I would like to say, I thank Jesus Christ for helping me and having me to win that voucher. And it was the school voucher from TDC. And I thank Jesus Christ for helping me and having me to win it on your radio station, and I'm very grateful for that because it came in handy for the lady who I gave it to, who had 4 school children. I think the voucher came in handy, so I just love to give Jesus Christ all the thanks and all of my gratitude and glorify him for it all. And I pray that Jesus Christ will continue to keep us safe from the hurricanes and so on for the rest of the season, because only he one can do that. So I pray to Jesus as well, his safety and protection over us. Take care. God bless to everybody.
All
God
right.
bless to everybody.
Thank you. Congratulations on winning.
Yeah, have another caller.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Good morning again.
Hi, Mr. McMahon. How are you?
I'm fine. I forgot to compliment Officer Donnelly on her intervention. I think I saw something on Facebook with her directing traffic.
Yeah.
She still got it.
She still got it.
Still very
Yeah.
Still very dexterous with those hand movements, those glove movements.
Yep.
That had everybody so mesmerized back in the day before the traffic light. It reminded me of a story I saw. There was this particularly flashy policeman who was directing traffic, so much so that old lady in the car just stood there transfixed as he said, "Come," and wouldn't move. And then he got down on his knees and tell her, "Please come." I thought it was funny. I'm calling though with regards to what you were talking about previous to traffic talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think the caller was right about the fact that the Prime Minister and politicians generally should be more circumspect with what they bring to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, a lot of times they say things and raise expectations, and it's when these expectations are not met, are not fulfilled, they have to come back and, as Quinn said, they eat humble pie, or what term do you use, Quinn?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, but basically, they have to come and do damage control and all of that.
Swallow their words.
Yeah, make all kinds of explanations. I mean, how often were we hearing, for instance, the development bank story?
Yeah.
And nothing came of it, right? It became monotonous, and nothing came of it, and so at least that apparently has stopped. You don't hear it anymore. So I think that's an indication. I mean, things like, for instance, the MRI, you would have thought that would have been almost the same year that they took over the reins of power, and it's still not been commissioned. So things like that, they should be more circumspect and give the public an actual good timeline as to when these things would in fact be delivered. Not enough to say coming soon anymore, because coming soon obviously have a lot of connotations to it, and could mean next year or next 5 years or what.
What I realized...
So we must have more realistic expectations, but generally.
I realized that recently, I don't know if you've noted it also, Mr. McMahon, but recently there seems to be this rush to get certain things in place. The Sustainable Initiative, the Fort Thomas thing, and these are things we were unaware of. So why is it that we're seeing these things when the public was not made aware that this would be happening? I was listening to a very interesting program on heritage matters, and hear individuals speaking to the fact that backhoes were placed on Listen to this specific part where a backhoe goes into the bush, damages a piece of property, valuable property, and then the driver says, "Well, I was just pushing in the bush." You're just pushing in the bush in that vicinity.
Right. Something like that should have been carefully monitored and
planned out.
Yes. It's so unfortunate. And I saw them pulling down a picture of them pulling down the cashew trees.
Yeah.
Maybe, yes, they were on the border of the property and I don't know, maybe they were affecting the road or whatever. But it would have been nice if some attempt was made to at least save one or two.
Yeah.
Rather than just tear down all of them, because that was a feature of the whole area.
But here,
one thing, it made it cooler, and then you heard, the sound of the wind rushing through them. It gave it a very distinct atmosphere for the area down there. And,
but
I guess.
But here's the thing. I actually even heard someone two individuals who are associated with the Heritage Foundation, say they were unaware of this.
I don't understand why we keep doing this over and over and over again. What is so hard to have consultation before major things like these are done? It is very disrespectful to citizens when things like these happen. Not even going to say, the next door residents and so on. But generally, a site like that it should have been said before what is going to be preserved, what are the plans for the area. Let the public as a whole have an input. But you see, it's this habit that we have, and it's where once you're elected, you feel you got a blank check to do anything that you like, and it's a real obnoxious practice that I would have hoped by now would have come to an end.
But you don't think
seems to be continuing.
But don't you think that even though, given what you just said, that okay, you have the authority to do this and that, don't you think that things should be done with a proper timeline? For instance, I get the feeling, I could be wrong, that after over 2.5 years of having won the election and knowing that the next election is somewhere around the corner and you have to produce something, I get the feeling that there's this rush to do certain things, and we're just going to see things start up, coming up to an election, and then after an election everything just fades back. What happens to the main things that you were pushing before? For instance, the MRI, as you spoke to, and also the hospital, and what happens, the high school. Those things aren't moving, but we're seeing other things that we knew nothing about.
It gives a sense of desperation, and that's not good, because when you're desperate, you tend to make bad decisions, bad moves. Okay, the land thing in Nevis, the special sustainability zone, is just another one of those things where it seems rushed and not enough consultation, and by the way, it seemed very much concentrated on Nevis, and maybe Nevis might have initiated this, I don't know. But whether they did or not, it's going to affect St. Kitts as well. And so it's not for Kittitians to be quiet about it and say, well, oh, that's a Nevis thing, right? What they want to do with the land is their business, okay? Because it affects St. Kitts and Nevis. If, for instance, whatever they do up there result in some kind of commune or something that is that the U.S. and the EU object to, a tax haven, for instance, or something that the EU and they object to, it's going to affect they're going to sanction the entire federation.
Yeah.
So we should pay attention to what's going on there.
We have another
Right, but
caller. We have another caller. Let them interject. Hello, caller.
Hey, yeah, greetings, man.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah.
You know, this land, this new act that was passed, you know, is very troublesome to me, you know, because one of the things I do not understand is that how can the investors is not meeting with the people? Why is it is the government that is going to have these town halls? There seems to be representing the investors when they should be representing the people.
You know, yeah, I agree.
Good point. Very good point.
You know, I live in a town here, and even though these people are elected, when there's a proposal, it got to go before the city council. The investors are there. They have to make their case.
Yeah.
Not the government. You know, the people, that's where the input come from the people. Of course you're gonna have yea and nay, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing that is mind-boggling to me. Mr. McMahon, I want you to answer this question if you know. How does one, well, let me put it this way. How do you make a change to the Constitution? Mr. McMahon?
Oh yes. My understanding is that it has to be introduced in Parliament, okay, and it has to be essentially voted on. But in addition to that, there has to be a two-thirds
majority
referendum.
Yeah.
Well, no. I think for some instances you have to have a referendum. Not
Yeah.
everything you need a referendum.
Okay.
For some things you need a referendum. But because I know that there was consideration that it's always been said that, well, why didn't a Labour government with who had won all 8 seats and had a majority change it?
Yeah.
So there are some things you can change, but some things require a referendum, I think.
Yeah.
No.
Why
the reason why I asked the question, you know, Mac Brantley, when he referring to the act, he would say the legislation said this and the legislation. All that is fine. But however, Vance Amory wrote a letter and decided to opt out of a constitutional arrangement just like that. How could that be? The revenue, where the revenue is supposed to be shared. Remember, Van Samuel, he wrote a letter and opt out it, you know. How could that be?
Well, the thing is, if it was challenged, I suspect he would have lost. But it wasn't challenged, right? And maybe that's the difference. There are certainly instances where there have been constitutional breaches. There are things that we haven't followed in the law. Take, for instance, our electoral boundaries and, for instance, the fact that they should have, as far as possible, equal numbers being represented. We for years we've been ignoring those things, okay? And I don't know, nobody seemed to challenge them, whether because they like the current system or I think it gives them the advantage or what, okay? But if we have to go back to the sanctity of the Constitution says something, we have to follow it. If you don't if you think that is something that needs to be changed, but go ahead and change it, not dilly-dally and give all kind of excuses. There's been too many instances where we keep saying that we need constitutional reform, and nobody does anything about it.
You know, I've been talking to a friend, you know, and I keep telling her, look, think it's needs is a lot of country because we can't even follow our own constitution. You know, the constitution say one thing, and I blame the Attorney General for the statement that he make about that same situation, you know, because he is in a position to challenge that letter. He could, because it is unconstitutional. If any change needs to be made, it cannot be done that way by somebody just writing a letter. What makes everybody decide to write a letter and decide they want this and then opt out of this, opt out of that?
Yeah, too many things are done for political convenience here. You know, we don't.
And one of the points is that one of the points I realize is that it is the politicians who make the noise that the Constitution needs to be changed, but they only do that when they are in opposition. When they get into the incumbent seat, they don't do anything. So that then says to me, this is why I keep arguing, then there's nothing wrong with the Constitution, because how come when you're in a position to change it, you don't? So
no, but I think that's the wrong conclusion to come to.
No, I'm not saying that it's a conclusion. I make that statement as a sort of, how should I put it, sort of being sarcastic then.
Yeah, okay, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to, we absolutely have to decide whether we're going to abide by the laws or just.
Okay, I'm going to give you a breather because your throat seems to be. Maybe you need a glass of water there.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
On that same reel, right, as I said, that was something that I was going to speak about because I saw a post, and the post said, I'm eager for more information about the reported plan to turn the abandoned Fort Thomas Hotel site into a museum of Caribbean history. So far, all the public has been told is that the final negotiations are underway, but there is no information about who the investor is or what provisions will be made to preserve the historic remains of the old fort. I'm alarmed at how the bulldozers seem to be sweeping quickly across the site and wondering if any archaeological assessment was done, or if even a map of the old Fort Thomas was reviewed to ensure that the historic foundation and possibly artifacts are not destroyed. The fort is first mentioned in the historical records in 1629 when it was attacked by the Spanish during the French occupation of that side of the island known as Fort View. Over the centuries, it has been referred to as Bluff Point, Fort West Bastaire, and the name that survives today, Fort Thomas. Sharing a couple of pictures of Fort Thomas then and now, along with a little blur that I did about our early forts for your St. Kitts and Nevis magazine last year. As an aside, I won't lie, it's a disappointment that we're negotiating with some as yet unknown to the public entity to construct a museum of Caribbean history when our own National Museum has been closed for 5 years, and though the building is under repair, completion is way off and there is no budget yet for interior renovations.
This is why I concur with Mr. McMahon that when you rush, you make bad decisions, right? Because of this, I mean, why should there be this going and you come to the public and you say, this is going to be happening, but we don't know who the investor is going to be. All you say is it's going to be a museum, you know? The caller is still there. You want to continue with an input?
As that caller mentioned, the person comes to the town hall. Go ahead, caller, sorry.
You know, and Cartensi, I got the name right, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and this is exactly my point. When they do these things, who are they representing? Is it the people or the investors? You don't know.
It seems the investors, because if you
Well,
can, if you're already bulldozing a thing and the people didn't know, then it means your look is in the investor you're looking out for, not the people.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
But they might say they're looking out for the people because it will create jobs.
But we need
Just
to
being the
know
devil's
this.
advocate.
We need to know this up front.
Yeah.
We need to know. You come and
I
you say, "This
understand.
is what we plan. This is going. It's going to create X amount of jobs." You know, so we know above board what is going to happen, the time span. Have you done the proper adjustments and put into place the different things? I hear people in the technical aspects of landscaping and building, they would use that jargon. I'm not too familiar with it, but come to the people first, not after
That's
the
exactly
fact.
my point, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and let me tell you something. There's a Taiwanese company that is putting down a major chip plant here. TM, I don't remember the acronyms, but I guess Cartens, you could look it up. But the point is, those people came before the people.
Yeah.
To explain what they're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the residents said, hey, look, these chips take a lot of water. What is going to happen to our water?
Yeah. So you can make proper planning. Yeah.
And, you know, the company say, hey, look, we understand there's a water problem. One of the things we're going to do, we're going to recycle the water and use it. You know, I really don't know the process, but it seems to have a lot to do with water.
Yeah.
You know, but to ease the strain and the supply, they say, hey, look, we're going to recycle the water and use it again.
Yeah.
You know, and who is the investors who's supposed to be undertaking the project at the Fort Amos Hotel? We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
See, this post also wants to know because everybody wants to know. As you mentioned, people come to town halls and say what they intend to do and whatever. But here, we don't know.
Yeah. You know, and I could remember the land for deal thing, you know. And
Land for
if
dead
it
swap.
wasn't for if it wasn't for court case, the town hall came after everything finished.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
Yeah.
This investment that you you just mentioned something. What is it you're talking about?
Something up in his area to do with Taiwanese.
It's a Taiwanese chip company.
Chip, you said?
Yes.
As in a chip you put in a telephone or?
Well, it could be, you know, it could be along those lines, you know. But you know, Taiwan is one of the countries that produce most of the chips, basically in everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm speaking about.
Okay.
Yeah. The acronym is, I know the first two letters is TM. I don't recall the last letter.
Okay.
But it's a Taiwan-based company.
Okay.
Yeah. But the main point you're pushing, and we get it, is that you don't put the horse in front of the cart. You put things in place and you let us know what is going to be happening, who the investors will be, what the investment will be, over what time period, and that kind of stuff. We need to know this up front. Yeah. Okay,
exactly
caller.
my point.
Okay.
One more question. This one is for Cartencia. I noticed your last name is Carty.
Yeah.
I'm a Carty too.
I got it from marriage. I'm married to Randolph Carty. I don't know if you know that person.
Randolph Carty.
Yeah, he drives taxi just in case if you know somebody.
Ah.
His mother was the late Waikati. She was a cook at the hospital.
Oh my! You know, we could be.
It could be family. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
We're from the Ponds area.
The Ponds. Okay. We get in there. I'm gonna make a call and
find out.
yeah.
All
to be
right.
sure.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And we're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
When can I open my eyes?
Not yet. Okay, open. Do you see what I see?
It just looks like land to me.
It's our land, son. A wise investment that will grow with you.
Invest in land with CIBC Caribbean and we'll give you US $250 towards your valuation cost and 50% off your loan application fee. With CIBC Caribbean Land Financing, you can choose to build, hold, or pass on to your children. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com to learn more. Conditions apply.
Different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Back to school is here, and Digicel is making it extra exciting. Go back to school in style with a brand new laptop. All you have to do is activate a 3-day Prime bundle or higher. Switch to Digicel or sign up for a postpaid plan, and you could be one of 2 lucky winners. At Digicel, we're all about keeping you connected. So what are you waiting for? Get ready, get connected, and go back to school the Digicel way. Digicel, better connected for back to school.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea as we continue along. Quint, anything to add to the bowl today?
Only if I'm going to play a clip, really.
Oh, well, I wanted to big up, as we say, Mr. Anson over there for V-Wear. I see he made a strong impact at the Carifesta. And as he says, he has a lot of orders already. I like his shirts with the flag, so I think I'll be seeking out one of those for CPL next year. The Sinkits flag on it. It's painted in a way that it's unique. It looks different, but you can still see the actual flag of the country. I see he has one of my flag there, so go Mr. Anson. Congratulations. And I saw Miss Williams yesterday. That's Janet Williams, and I congratulated her in person. The contingent came back yesterday from Barbados that went for Carifesta. Well, some of them. We have a caller?
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Oh, yes, it's me again. Thanks, Quinn, for recognizing that I needed a water break. It happens.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
People say when you talk too much or you talk too fast. But anyway, I just wanted to finish my point, right? The point I was getting at was the fact that this happens so often, and even though we talk about it on radio a lot, it doesn't seem to matter.
It doesn't.
And I guess maybe our voices aren't strong enough or important enough, and that's why I think it's very important for other organizations to get involved.
Yeah.
I know that they're afraid to be branded as activists or they are partisan or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have to bite the bullet and do something about it. Otherwise, make their voices heard.
Yeah.
One fill basket, as I said, because otherwise nobody seems to be paying attention.
I think the public on a whole need to give more of an input, because that is the only thing that the politicians listen to. When the public makes, numbers, and they make their numbers count in terms of they don't agree or they don't like something, that is the only time that the politicians listen.
Yeah, but there are organizations like the opposition, for instance, that should actually put these things on record, right? And whether in terms of writing, whether in terms of press releases or whatever, so that it's there on record to remind people that when they mess up, when they do things like this and they mess up, that they were warned about it and there was a protest about it.
I agree.
I myself don't agree with, well, I shouldn't say don't agree with, but don't like the streets and putting up placards and those kinds of things, right?
Why?
Although they can be effective.
Why don't you like that? That to me is when the politicians' ears prick up because they see people hitting the streets. We don't see it that often recently, but that is when the politicians tend to listen.
Well, that's true, yes. I recognize the value of it. It's just that me personally don't participate in those things because I don't like crowds, yeah?
Well,
I don't like because
I
crowds
don't
generally
like crowds either.
lead to mob rule kind of thing, and I don't believe in that.
Well,
okay?
I don't like
I don't
crowds.
believe in going with the flow simply because, well, everybody seems to be going this direction. I tend to be very individualistic in
Well, me
things,
personally, I don't like crowds, period. But I remember way back when I was young, I remember me marching with everybody else and protesting and making my voice heard, and like I said, it is our generation, it is my generation that made the first change ever from the Labour Party to another party back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, there's value in it. It's just that on a personal level, it's for that reason. For instance, I military organization.
Oh,
I hate being told what to do, when to do it.
Well, same
no
with
objection.
me. Yeah, same
right?
with me.
You can't object.
I remember as a young boy growing up in Pons Pasha, and the military would do their practice exercises in that the camp was there before they put the fire station there, and I remember as young boys we'd go because we'd love to see those people in their military uniforms,
right.
And we'd see them marching, and we'd hear the commander saying, "Oh," and then we
screaming at them,
and then we would hear, we don't know if it's true, but we would hear the rumors afterwards, and we would hear our friends and certain families saying that the officer was saying something about if your mother tell you this and something so, and we would be saying you're crazy, you can't wait, So I adopted that kind of thing, like I won't go into any military thing and you're just going to say anything you feel to me, and I must accept it because it's part of joining the military. So yeah, I'm kind of like that.
there's a reason for it. I mean, it's supposed to, you're supposed to have discipline in something like a military.
Yeah.
I understand that. It's just that in my case, it seems to be going overboard. It's basically adopting somebody else's orders.
But to me,
whether wrong or right, you got to do it.
I agree. To me, it is going overboard because, for instance, let's look at what happens with ICE, or what happens a lot of the time when, you send in military. A lot of the times, the things escalate to a point, and because it has been ingrained in these soldiers that you follow every order, sometimes it ends up in a disaster.
Of course, I mean, just look at Gaza. I am sure that a lot of those soldiers, Israeli soldiers,
Yeah.
will need some kind of psychological counseling after this war is done.
Most definitely.
Because they're forced to do things which I know for sure
Goes
somehow
against some of
goes
their
against the
consciences,
conscience.
yeah. And
Yeah.
some of them have absconded, abdicated because of it. Some of them, when they retire, they come out and they speak and they say they didn't like this and they didn't like that. So yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of an indoctrination into whatever we say you must do.
It can be filled with what is it? PTSD, post-traumatic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Post-traumatic
stress disorder.
stress, yeah.
Stress syndrome or something like that.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
have another.
yeah.
You have another caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning. Good morning to you guys, man. Good morning to the listeners.
Good morning.
Yeah, let me start off by saying it's very troubling to see what's going on the Nevis end with these lands. But undoubtedly, this is a law now that probably only just needs to be gazetted and become an act. And it will become an act, and it will affect both islands. This is just not a law that will affect Nevis. It will affect the Federation and a whole. There is a country in Central America, I think, might be Honduras. Might stand corrected, but the same SSD was set up in a country there in Central America. And not until when the people changed the government, it seems that the SSD had to be reversed because it's not beneficial for the local people. Obviously, the people put the pressure on the government and the politicians. They went to the polls and they made a change. That was one of the issues. They fight back against the SSD law that was passed in that country.
I don't
You've seen the same-
understand. I don't understand why is it that the federal contingent have. I can't understand why they decided to go along with this. And if I were them, I would opt out of it because you hear Mark Brantley now making certain statements that when, like, for instance, he says, the federal people are saying the federal government so and so and so, but they can't do such and such unless it is signed off by the Nevis side of it and so on and so forth. So then it means that Mark Brantley is the main catalyst for this. So why then?
Correct.
Why then have our side of the equation signed off on it? It doesn't really.
Political expediency, Quinn.
But what will it expedite to the advantage of the federation from the federal end, or even from the Nevis end? What will it expedite for us?
I don't know if you noticed. And with even projects that we talk about, like Fort Thomas, there are a lot of hidden players who stay in the background
Yeah, you're right.
and seem to pull the string.
You're right.
So you can bet your life that what we're seeing here is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There have been some, whether backroom negotiations or some quid pro quo or something involved that we don't know about. You can bet your life it isn't that they just, Mark Brantley just approached them and said, listen, I got to sign this, and that's it.
But here's another aspect too. The other aspect is we know, you see the fallout that happened during the past labor regime with this land thing. So why bring up something else that's going to bring up another land issue when you know that's a sore point? in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The Kittitians feel we are landless and we want land. The Nevisian feel we have some land, but we want to make sure that even if we sell X amount, we want to keep a certain amount so that it passes to posterity. So it is a big issue. So why touch it?
They know that this is a big issue. And
They think
Quinn,
we don't
let me
know
tell you
about
something, right?
Mr. McMahon, let Burl make a statement. Go ahead, Burl.
I'm going to tell you something, right? The Premier says he's defending his wife. But I'm going to tell you, right? He said stuff like he doesn't know what she's doing and her business is whatever, right? Whatever, right? But a man and a woman goes and get married, and we are a Christian society. In the eyes of that, they said two of you become one. You cannot now deny that.
But that isn't much of an argument because people have lived. People have lived together. Yeah, people have lived together.
Let me get context in the mix.
People are married and live secret lives. Sometimes people don't know that.
You would hear this street saying, especially I don't know if I want to say coming from the women, but you will hear what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine in a marriage. But anyway,
we've got only about 4 more minutes before the next program, right?
But I want to say something before.
No problem. But here to say real quick before you guys get off, right?
Mm-hmm.
The information is coming out. Why is only one particular realtor company involved with this stuff? The local people are being squeezed out. They get phone calls, they get emails. And we now seen an article circulating that 17 Degrees North has already made 2 transactions, net probably about $1.4 million. And the foreigner, he already got control of 80.4 acres of land.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true.
Well, so make that statement clear. That is seriously.
It's alleged.
Yeah, make sure you always say it's alleged. Hortensia, you wanted to say something?
Someone told me from Nevis that the last time that CCM lost government, it was over them trying to take 80 acres of Nevis people land.
Yeah. That. Why are you touching this land? This makes it clear why they put the horse before the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But when people find out, didn't you think there would be a backlash? There's going to be. But here's the main issue I want to make before we finish. Here's the issue. Mark Brantley is the premier. Mark Brantley is in the know. He knows what will happen when it will happen. How is it that his family is on the other end of the spectrum to benefit, and it seems solely his family? That is where you have a conflict. That is the concern. So anything else is just whitewash. Anything else is just trying to push the blinders, make you look somewhere else. Mm-hmm. This is what, I mean, when I hear Mark Brantley making noise about, well, I have a deed that says she sold land, and well, that is of no consequence. That is not the issue. The issue is that you're the premier, and because of your position, the status that you have, you know certain information. So how is it that the only other party who gets this information and can benefit from it is aligned with you? That is the question. And
we're supposed to believe that is normal.
You know?
That's the crazy part of it. We're supposed to just accept that as normal. It's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
It's ethical and all of that. That's what I find this.
Yes.
Anyway, and I'm going to end with asking a question. And why is the head of state going along with this?
Well, we asked that earlier. Why? We can't really see it, but I guess what they say, when wind blow, you see fowls rear.
See fowl bottom. Oh, boy.
All right, man, you guys,
okay.
but Quinn, I would say, man, they need to retract that law and tell those foreigners they're not welcome in our country with this BS.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. You guys have a good day.
Same to you. Yeah.
Or give us much more information that they've been given up to now.
Mm-hmm.
If it is such a good project, bring out the information, bring out all the information, and let people understand what's going on.
I don't think it's such a good project. So
That's
far,
why it's secret.
that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay then.
Yeah.
And my friend also said from Nevis that he's listening to New Visions fall in love with Bradshaw these many years after his death because they realized he loved the people of this country far more than the leaders we have now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and that's how we're going to bring an end to Island Tea for today.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment.